There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Shitz and Giggles is proud to bring to you one of the best authors on the planet. And if you can't tell by the beautiful books that are around this man's beautiful face, y'all are in for a treat today. Y'all are about to learn about one of the best zombie series out there. And now he's got an EMP book out there set in the Ravaged Skies universe, which y'all need to check all those books out because they are all phenomenal, fantastic authors. But we got one of those Ravaged Skies authors here today, good friend of mine, reason I'm a podcaster in the first place, the one, the only, J.S. Patrick, my man. Jason, how are we living, brother?
I'm living pretty good. Thanks for overselling me. So there's no way I can live up to that hype.
Shit, you do every day, man. You do every day. Well, guys, we're going to talk a little after Z at some point, but I want to start right off the bat with the book you see that's right in front of that man's sexy chest right there, Breaker. Man, how did you wind up part of the whole Ravaged Skies universe? Were you invited, or did you submit to it, or what happened there?
No, I was invited by I think Dee was in charge of that. She reached out to a few authors that she thought might be interested in it, and I figured, well, what the hell? Why not? I like to procrastinate writing my After Z series books anyway, so I figured I might as well write another book in the middle of writing another one.
Well, that's one way to go about it. Now, question I got here is, being EMP and you've been writing zombie, pretty much from the beginning. How long did it take you to kind of get your world created and, get the idea, get your characters and what you wanted to do?
I'm not much of a world creator. I just write by the seat of my pants. I don't know where the story's going. I don't know what the next sentence is going to be until I put the period at the end of it, usually. So, I knew that I wanted the story to be like, well, they say write what you know. I'm a truck driver, my grown up job. So I figured I'd have my main character. I knew I wanted him to be a truck driver who was out on the road and kind of got stranded, and then ended up in situation after situation of having to help people.
Dude, it's a hell of a ride. And one thing I've always liked about your books is, and you can tell you have a natural sense of humor because it comes through in everything you write. I mean, you can have the most dark, dire thing going on and you can still find a way to squeeze a laugh out of it. And I just absolutely love that, man. And that's what's, to anybody that I recommend your books to, I tell them, I said, look, you're going to get some parts that are going to be pretty harsh, but at the same time, he's going to make you laugh. I mean, you're not going to be able to avoid a good laugh because it's just also well put together. When you sit down, when I know a lot of times, still fighting a cold. A lot of times when you write, you're writing from the road using Dragon Naturally Speaking. Now, have you been riding along when you're writing Breaker and kind of putting stuff together and all of a sudden see something or experience something on the road and go, oh, I got to work that into the story?
Yeah, I've had that happen a few times. A lot of times I'm already drawn from experiences that I've already had, but there was a couple instances in there, dealing with traffic or seeing a business or something and kind of throwing that in because I thought it'd be a neat setting.
Now, earlier you talked about being further up north earlier and seeing a liquor store, Bigfoot Liquors. Is that going to find its way into something now?
I think it's going to, because for this, I know we're on Breaker, but for my next After Z book, my characters are going to they're going to acquire. They're going to be in need of emergency acquisition of new vehicles, and they're going to end up with Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles, and those are up in Wisconsin too. So I think we're definitely going to run into some Bigfoot Liquors while we're up there.
Oh my goodness, I freaking love it. Now, have you already kind of thought out how many more Breakers there's going to be?
I don't know. I was figuring probably 2 or 3. I'm honestly, I think this next book is probably going to wind down the After Z series, so I'm going to be looking for something new to read,
Mm-hmm.
or no, something new to write. So I probably at least two more in the series, or maybe one longer one. I know the first one I put out was kind of short, like I was doing it in between After Z books, so I wrote it. I wrote at the bare minimum length that they needed to to be a member of the Ravaged Skies series. So it's a pretty short book. Is it's 175 pages or something like that. Most of my books are usually 300 or so. But so if I write any more in it, I'll take put a little more story into it and world build a little more, come up with a longer book.
Well, one thing I found really cool about Breaker, aside from the story itself, is your main character's name. Edsel Ford, man. Was that just it popped in your head? Like maybe originally you had John Smith, and you were like, no, I need something cooler.
Yeah, well, I did make a few notes for for his truck, for the truck he uses. I was starting. That was the only thing I made notes on. I needed some tech specs on that old type of semi, and I drove past the in Volo, Illinois, is like the Volo Car Museum. It's a movie car museum. World famous, and for people who are into cars, but they had like two Edsels sitting out front when I drove by one day, and I'm like, oh, that's Ford or Edsel Ford or Ford Edsel, and I'm like, oh, cool, maybe I'll name my character Edsel, and then I thought, oh, screw it, we'll just name him Edsel Ford.
It's
Yeah,
definitely a unique name. I mean, you don't see that anywhere, really. I mean, who do you know that's named Edsel?
yeah, well. And anybody who's writing a series, you try to come up with a name with some character names that are gonna, that'll stick in people's head, to, you know, uh, something that's eye catching.
Right. Well, how long did it take you to get Breaker done?
So from the time that I first was invited to write until my release date was almost exactly a year. I finished the book. Um, I finished the book 2 weeks before the release date,
Oh,
and
wow.
it took a week to edit, and then I had it ready to go. But I didn't start writing it until about I wrote 2 chapters, and then I kind of got sidetracked, and then I didn't really start writing it until about 3 months before it was due. So I wrote it in about 2.5 months.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
now it's so bad. Ugh. I'm over here trying to knock out a novella, and you're out here putting out novels and all that, and I'm like, come on now.
yeah, well, I haven't made crap for progress on the next After Z book in the meantime. So, but
hey, the key is you at least kept the craft going. I mean, even though you weren't
yeah,
working on the main project, you're still getting the words down for something else, and so you're not lit. Mistake that I've made with my writing is I'll pause from something, whether it be because of writer's block or just because I'm just tired from work, don't feel like it. And all of a sudden I'll look up one day and it's like, when's the last time I wrote anything? And be like, damn, it's like 3 months ago, and I'm like,
yeah.
holy
I,
crap.
Procrastination is an art, and it's is an art form in itself. I took 2 weeks off over Christmas and New Year's week, two straight weeks, and my intention was to write thousands of words a day. I had a goal set for myself. I got up at 6 every morning. My goal was to write 2,000 words every day. The whole 2 weeks I was off, I wrote 2,500 words the entire 2 weeks that I was off. So I took advantage of vacation fully this year. We didn't do a trip or anything. We just sat home and couch potatoed for 2 weeks. It was wonderful. So
Okay, random question time. It's a new thing.
all right.
Crocs or no Crocs?
In just in life in general.
Yeah, the weird
Yeah,
shoe.
no Crocs. I say that as I've got a pair of Hey Dudes on my feet right now, but
Dang. All right, Robin, you got any questions for my man here?
I just want to say hi, Evan. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
And I want to ask about your zombies. Like, what's their speed?
I have well, my zombies, the first couple books, they are only slow, slow shambling zombies that that you can outrun them by walking normal pace. And then in later books, they find these they're variant zombies that are completely silent, so they can kind of sneak up on you. They don't moan, they don't make any noise, but they they walk in a more they don't run. They're not fast, World War Z movie zombies, but they can walk at more of a normal pace. So you have to speed walk or jog to get away from these. But they're not. I don't like the idea of fast zombies because I think if they're all fast like in the World War Z movie, humanity's screwed and has absolutely no chance. So it'd be a really short book. It'd really be a really short book series, I think, if they were that fast.
So they're like Jason or Michael, where they are quiet and lethal. Like, they don't have to run because they're going to kill you at the end anyways.
Yeah, I like to think of it more like Pepe Le Pew when he chases the cat. She's running for her life, and he's just kind of prancing along, and he catches her anyway. So.
Yes. That's it. Yep.
Oh, hell yeah! Now, some of the scenes you've managed to put the Maxwells and the gang in some pretty. Oh my God! There's no way they're getting out of these situations. When you're sitting to write something out like that, how much work goes into making sure that the scene fits with what you're going for, in the sense that you want us to think there's a chance that at least somebody's not going to make it out, even though they're going to have to, or like you say, this book series is over, quick.
I think part of that comes from where I never know what the next sentence is going to be. So I write them into a corner with absolutely no idea, no plan on how they're going to get out. So then it forces me to come up with a creative way to get them out of whatever they're in, and rather than planning and blocking the whole thing out in advance. I've only ever had one scene where I had pretty much the whole thing written out in advance, and I needed to figure out a way to make it fit into the story, just because I loved the idea. That was when it was a second book where they trapped all the wild boar in a trap and then exploded them with explosives and blew guts all over the zombies, and the zombies all ate each other because they were covered in fresh blood and guts. So I knew I wanted to.
Awesome.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do that, and I pretty much had that whole chapter written with no character names in it because I hadn't gotten introduced the characters yet. But I had that in my head from the middle of the first book, and it took till about the middle of the second book to make it fit.
Well, and that's one of the cool things about it. And a lot of authors, well, I don't know if I want to say a lot of authors, but quite a few, write their stories and use people they know in real life. And After Z is an example of that. Like, these are like people you really know, including me later on down the line.
Yep.
Who are some of the folks that you have in real life that are in the After Z series? It'd be a way to kind of shout them out while we're here.
The first two characters I introduced is Nick Jones and Michael Craddock. I served in Afghanistan with both of those guys. They were both in my unit in the 101st Airborne, and we went through some pretty hairy shit together over in Afghanistan. And I told both of them, we joked when the lottery hit big. This wasn't not the lottery that inspired the book. This was when we were still when lottery got real big, and we were everybody was kind of spitballing about what they would do if they won the lottery. And I told those two guys, I told both of them, I said, well, if I ever won the lottery, I said, I'm building a bunker, and you guys are going to be, I said, I'll pay you guys both so much to be security that you won't be able to turn me down. And they both laughed and thought it was hilarious. And here I kind of ended up doing it to them anyway in print.
Back when you were first putting the series out, I still remember every now and then on Facebook you would do a meet the characters thing, and I always thought that was pretty neat because a lot of people don't do that, and I thought that really makes it more personal right there. Say, here's what they look like. This is them.
Yeah,
So
and those have just started popping up. That was 3 years ago, I think. Those have just started popping up in my Facebook memories. So I've been resharing those. But yeah, it's so Michael and Nick and the Ryan and his wife and all the kids is all based on my wife and kids and the two Dr. Martins that are or Dr. Carters that are married to each other. That's my best friend and his wife, and they're both real doctors in real life. And of course, Ryan's dad is based on my late father, and um, I gotta do him some justice after since he passed away 2 years ago. But I'm gonna write him in. He's gonna have a. I'm gonna try to write him in a really badass hero scene in the last book here somewhere.
nice, nice. I mean, that was one of my more favorite parts is when the characters made the trip, to go find him and try to get him to come back, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good. These people need me." Like I'm like, dude, you could go back to this mega billion-dollar bunker and never have to worry about anything, but now you're going to stay here at this hospital. Like,
And that would be my dad in real life too. He's one of those old boomer guys that doesn't want to inconvenience anybody, and he wants to be always wanted to be as self-reliant as he could, and hated to put anybody out to do anything to do anything for him. So yeah, he really liked it. He really liked the way I wrote his character.
very
Now you
cool.
have this series after Z. How many books do you think or how many you planned or thought out that you're going to do? Or at what point are you going to end it or just keep writing?
Yeah, well, there's 6 out so far. I'm working on book 7 now, and I don't think I can stretch the story out much farther. I don't think I could get 2 full books out of the rest of what I want to do with the story. So I think this last book I think book 7 will probably be a little longer than the rest of them, and then that might be it. I am planning and this is one that I have actually been kind of making notes of in my head. What I want to do is a 20-year down the road or a 10 years later type book with the character Nick and his wife. I want to have them go back down to Texas, because he met his love interest was she ran a safari park in Texas, and before they left, they let all the animals loose. And there was enough of all the animals. It got explained in the story. There was enough of all these animals to have breeding populations. So going to have it where they're going to make a trip back down to Texas. So she wants to go back to her home, and they're gonna when they get down there, they're gonna find out it's like the African savannah down there. 10 or 15 years later or so. Have whole populations of lions and tigers and bears, oh my, and everything, all that other good stuff down there.
Freaking love it, man. That would be a cool one. It kind of makes me think of the David Simpson one where he had the kids that had all the animals in Zombie Road that they could literally ride them, because they pretty much domesticated them all. And I think I always love that kind of thing. That's the little kid in me, though. We've always wanted to have like a pet lion or something, and I would think it'd be cool. One thing the book series did do to me, I want a koala. I want a koala.
That he has turned into you and the koala bear have turned into 2 of the most popular talked about characters in the book, and or Sir Ronald, of course, because of the language that I have him speaking in this old English dialect that he made up for himself. But yeah, I thought about changing the name of the series into Allah the Koala and the people who travel with him, because everybody loves him so much.
And he's a vicious little sucker. Well, I mean, depending on who you are. But maybe do a side quest, some little side adventure where hippie wrestler and the koala take off on a little side mission or something.
Yeah. Well, the last book release, for the Breaker book release, I had a reader come from hour and a half away, and she brought a whole box of these little. I'll probably have some here. Let's see. Yeah, I got crap all over this place. She brought me. She brought Oh, Nick was supposed to come and he couldn't make it, but she brought this big koala stuffy for Nick.
Ah,
So the next time I actually run into Nick, I got to give that to him, and then a whole box of these little tiny koala stuffies. There was a box of like 20 of these things. So,
see, that's
so
you've made it. You know, when people show up and just give you stuff, like you got to have this. Thank you.
yeah. Well, she also on her back, on her left shoulder blade, I believe she got a, well, it's hard to tell. This big. I say it's about the size of a paperback book. A tattoo of a koala bear, and it just says Allah underneath of it. She got his name tattooed, but she's got some tattoos from uh, a quote from Jilly Bean from Peter Meredith's books, and she's also got a tattoo of something. I want to say she had something from Zombie Road tattooed on her too.
Wow, now that's dedication right there.
Yeah, she's a big indie zombie reader. So yeah, that was a nice surprise when she showed up and she goes, "Here, I brought something for you." That was pretty cool.
Hell yeah, that is really freaking neat. Are you thinking about introducing any other sidekick animals, just out of curiosity, and anything else you ever write?
Well, the Edsel and Breaker Breakers got T-Bird the truck cat. I so my wife's gonna hate this when I do this, but my wife has a little yip yip dog. We have a German Shepherd, and my wife's got this little Pomeranian that I absolutely cannot stand. And I threaten to shove her in the garbage disposal all the time. But my wife will just say, "Oh, stop it! You know you love her." I'm like, "No, I really don't." She's like, "Well, she's cute." I said, "Yeah, but cute doesn't make up for annoying." But so I'm seriously thinking about introducing having the crew rescue a Pomeranian, then maybe the Pomeranian might come up to a tragic end or something. But 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 no, I don't know. The Maxwell got the two shepherds the three shepherds and the Carter family's got Butta, who is also a pretty popular character, even though he's only been in the book, mentioned in the book a couple times. But so
that sounds like you're gonna have to get Buddy in a little bit more then.
Maybe.
So work it in there. And one of the things that I do love, I'm glad you brought up the dogs, is how well trained they are. Like with the simple voice commands and everything, and it's just like that's the kind of dogs you want in a zombie apocalypse, right?
Yeah,
there,
I wish our real dogs in real life were trained that well. I kind of swiped that idea from that level of training with the dog. I kind of swiped that from the Joe Ledger series, from Jonathan Mayberry's Joe Ledger series, because he's got his dog is trained that well. I have seen dogs trained that well, but I haven't got the time, patience, or the money to train my dogs exactly that well. But so that's all fantasy. So,
all right, another random question.
All right.
What is a smell that people seem to like that you can't stand?
Oh, geez. I can think of a bunch that I like that other people can't stand, but probably, I think peaches, like the taste and smell of peaches. I'm not big on.
Wow.
So, and it's okay. So let me qualify that. Not like actual peaches. I love actual peaches. Anything that's peach flavored, or peach scented, I absolutely cannot stand. So,
you me there for that. Like my most famous thing that I know how to bake is a peach cobbler.
Yeah. It's I have to explain that to people. Like, oh, you don't like peaches? No, I don't like peach flavor. But same thing with strawberries and watermelon. I love strawberries. I love watermelon, but strawberry flavored or scented, or watermelon flavored or scented, there's something about the artificial flavors and scents that they just don't quite get it right.
Yeah, because watermelon tastes nothing like watermelon. Like the watermelon Jolly Ranchers.
No, yep.
Not even a thing.
Yeah, it tastes like watermelon.
What was that, Robin?
I'm sorry.
No, you were going. You broke up.
I said, so mine is Oh, sorry. I love hoppies. The smell of hoppies. Nobody else really likes it, but I do.
I'm not sure what is that.
Gun oil.
Gun oil.
Oh, gun oil. Oh yeah, no, I love the smell of gun oil.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
was always one of those weird guys in when I was in the army that would sniff. I'd open my bottle of CLP and sniff it.
yep, yep, yep.
I'm like that with WD-40. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I love the smell of WD-40.
yeah, does not taste good though.
No,
So,
no, don't
smell.
do that. And don't recommend Tide Pods either. Don't try that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I thought we were going to eliminate a whole generation there for a while.
It was trending. It was trending that way.
Yep.
True enough.
Survival of the fittest or the
Yeah.
smartest.
Hope you don't mind. I sip out of my coffee. I don't know if you can tell my little coffee cup. It's got little. So it says you're baking me crazy on it, and then it's got pig ears.
Oh,
When it's so if you hold it when it's empty and you hold it like that and look down into it, it's got a pig face on the very bottom of it.
cool.
That's cool.
So my wife and kids know exactly how to get me the right Father's Day gifts.
Are you going to be doing any in-person appearances this year?
If I get a book finished this year, hopefully I will get it. The book I'm working on, I was hoping I'd have it done, by the end of last year. But I do signings at the local library and book releases every time I have one. Like I said, I'm so far from finishing the current book that I couldn't give any kind of date for it right now.
Well, we know you'll get it done. I got to say, Robin, this is one of the most fun things I ever got to do. When he had one of his book releases, he was doing it at the library. They went and got a projector, and so we got this set up just like this, and they had what we're looking at now projected up on the wall of the library. And so we did the book release that way.
Yeah, Jack hosted the release party,
Cool.
and we did a that turned into almost an hour and a half podcast too.
It did.
So.
We just got to keep going. And finally, I was like, okay, I'm going to get it all there so you can go talk to people and do stuff. And we kind of wrapped it up there. But that was really fun. I appreciate you letting me do that. That was a hoot.
I'm glad we had the chance to do it.
Now, let me ask, if you were going to go off script from what you normally write, in this case, you've got EMP now, you've got zombie. What's a genre you would like to dabble in that maybe we wouldn't expect?
I don't know. I told my wife I'll never do it, but I told my wife once how much some of the erotica authors make. She told me you should try doing that. I said no, I'll never do that. I watched like a kind of a beginner's guide for writing erotica on YouTube just to entertain the idea, and I was embarrassed just watching it by myself. But no, I've got a couple straight sci-fi ideas that I want to try. I got an idea that I've been working on for a Christmas horror story. Like it'd be a short story, but a couple that are like straight up sci-fi, not even necessarily horror, just kind of end of the world type sci-fi, or I don't even know how to explain the. I was gonna try to explain the one that I had an idea for, but I wouldn't even know how to explain it.
Well, that means it's probably going to be a really good story then. So, well, now I want to get on this here because me and you had talked before we got going about how we don't really read that much anymore, and it's primarily all audiobooks.
Yeah,
and you've got one of my favorite narrators of all time, Matt Crow. That guy, he's got the dulcet tones, as they would say. How many other narrators did you listen to before you finally went, no, that's the guy?
None.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I put my first book out, it had been out for a couple months, and I got a random message on Messenger from some guy named Matthew Crow that I'd never heard of before, saying that he was just getting into doing audiobooks and wanted to know if I'd be interested in him, doing an audition for it. And I'd heard a lot about people contacting you out of the blue being scams and stuff for authors, and I wasn't, I didn't know enough about the business to know whether I wanted to do an audiobook. I knew that's all I listened to was audiobooks, but I didn't know enough about it at the time, and it was still so new that it wasn't. I hadn't really sold a whole ton that I thought it would justify the expense. And but 6 months after the book came out, finally it was doing good enough, and I'm just like, I talked over with my wife. I said, I it's going to cost about this much to get an audiobook published, and let me look into it. And she's like, okay, yeah, go ahead. So when I submitted the stuff through Audible and opened the book for auditions, and Matt was the first one to send me an audition, and I liked it. And then I liked it, so I messaged him, and then I messaged him through the Audible, through the Amazon portal, and then I looked him up on Facebook to send him a message. And when I sent him a message, well, lo and behold, the last message was me saying I wasn't ready to do an audiobook yet. And I'm like, oh, this is the guy that contacted me 6 months ago out of the blue. So I told him that, and we had a good laugh over that. And he's been, I can't imagine going with anybody else since then. I think he said when he did my first book, he had only done like half a dozen or maybe 10 books, so he was really just getting into it at the time. So we've kind of grown up. We've kind of grown up in the business together.
Awesome. A fun little fact: that man has done my voice for 2 different authors. He's done me in After Z, and he's done me in the Epic Mayhem series by Jeff Thompson, R.I.P. And he is so good at making me sound so goofy. I just freaking love it. And the one thing with Matt, if you're a zombie writer and you go with Matt, you'll know up front he loves the genre.
Yeah.
Like, he absolutely loves it.
That's almost exclusively his catalog is almost all zombie. I mean, it's all apocalypse stuff, but it's almost all zombie stuff too.
Yeah, you can tell he puts his heart into it. He really does. He doesn't half-ass anything. When he goes, he's going to give you his all. Yeah,
it's talking to him, it's not just because it's his job. It's because he really does like like you said, he really does like the genre.
Heck yeah.
What about covers? Who does your covers?
So my covers, my cover artist was she was local. She lives I don't know, about 15 miles away from here. She's actually was my wife was going to her for massage therapy, and she does portrait. She did portrait art, kind of on this. Well, she's kind of her name's Carol Camper. She's great. She's I would call her an eccentric and a hippie. And I don't think that if she ends up watching this, I don't think she would be offended by either one of those. She's definitely a hippie personality. But her yard, she's got artistic stuff all over her yard and in the house, and her whole yard is a like an artist palette for her. It's pretty interesting. But my wife's like, well, she does really good stuff, and it's not just portrait stuff. I've seen it. She's done some landscape stuff, and so I had her look, and she'd never done anything other than watercolor, pencil sketch type stuff. And she actually said she liked the thought of the challenge, so she bought an art program for her iPad and taught herself how to use it just to do my first book cover, and turned out really good. And she's done all of them except for the Dog Day short story. I did that. I that was so short. It was only 27 pages. I couldn't justify paying $100 for a cover for that. So I did that in Microsoft Paint. And the cover for the box set that I just released for the first 3 books I did that one myself in paint as well. Um, but other than that, she's done all the other covers, and she's done an incredible job. Well, the Breaker cover, I went with Chris Philbrooks, Adrian Undead Diary series. I went with his cover artist for that one because I was going to be a part of a bigger world and a bigger series. I wanted a cover that was probably it's a little above Carol's skill set, I think, um, but I needed to have the logo in, and since there was contract stuff involved with being in the series and stuff, I wanted to go with a cover that was going to match more of what everybody else was doing in the series.
Another fun little fact for you there, Robin. The cover of book 1 with the zombie in the snow, that's Jason. That's him. he went and stood on the street, and they
no. I took the picture. The zombie, that's a stock. The actual zombie character, that's like a stock photo. The stock.
Thought that was you.
I took the picture though. I stood on the corner at the end of Main Street, and that picture was actually taken in the middle of summer. That's what she was able to do. That's what she was able to do to teach herself to do on her art program. It made that look exactly like that Main Street looks in the middle of winter. But yeah, no, I'm not in the picture. I took the picture though.
That's right. I always get that mixed up. So we got to talk more about it.
My favorite Easter egg on any of the covers though is for book 3 with the green cover with the Vitruvian Man. All of that writing is supposed to, if you've ever seen a actual picture of the Vitruvian Man, it's got, Da Vinci's notes, in Latin at the top. And if you look on that cover, I'm pointing at it on the screen like everybody can see where I'm pointing. You look on that cover, there's all that writing at the top. It looks like it would be Da Vinci's notes, but what it is, I wrote, it's 5 or 6 sentences that give away, they tell every major plot point and spoiler in the book, and I put it in. I switched it to script in the font, and then I reversed it. So it's a mirror image. But if you can mirror image that and blow it up to where you can read it, it's spoiler in every major plot point that's in the or spoilers for every major plot point that's in that book.
Dude, I wonder if anybody else has ever thought to do that. Just gotta sneak it in there. Let's give it away, but they'll have to find it.
Yeah, but that one is out of all the cover, that one is my favorite cover. I love the job she did on that one.
They are really cool. Now, here's the thing: I don't recall her being on the roster of my hippies on my flotilla. So.
Honestly, I never even thought about putting her in there. I probably should. I might need to do that. Although this next book, your hippies are more land based, are going to be more land based on this next one. But
cool.
there's shit to do that can't all be done on the river. So
yeah, that's one of my fun things. And I'd always had the rule that whenever I frame an author's book, they get one. You get one framed book. Well, you got 2, because as I've told you in the past, I love book 1's original cover just because, like I said, I can feel the cold. I can almost like hear the silence of the night as this thing's kind of shambling towards you and the snow is crunching and all that.
Yeah.
But to get to look at the cover with the flotilla on it and just be able to tell people that's mine. That's
yeah.
Yeah,
you are technically on that cover. Just can't see you, but it's your boat.
Yeah,
okay, random question.
All right.
Not really zombie-like, but horror. Cannibalism or not?
If it's necessary, I have one instance of necessary cannibalism by a good guy in my books. So, if it's necessary, sure. If it's absolutely essential for survival, my character hated it and hates himself for it, and it's haunted him it's haunted him. 5 books later, occasionally it pops up that he's still bothered. Well, he's obviously I would hope he'd be bothered by it. I don't want to write sociopaths as any of my good guys, but
Yes.
there's instances through history, I guess, where you could, where desperation justifies it, I suppose.
Yeah, I totally see that. But like you said, you don't want to make your main characters, your good guys, be doing that on a regular basis or anything.
Yeah, it's not going to be a joke. Not going to be a joking conversation between any characters. Hey, you remember when we had to do? Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, that was good. It was so good. But too bad we didn't have barbecue sauce. One of the things I wonder, and I probably asked this in the past, but for any new viewers that are out there, have you ever found yourself, whether it be, doing the Dragon Naturally Speaking or just when you're editing, when you get the time, have you ever gone over one of your funny parts and actually made yourself laugh, like out loud laugh?
Not reading them back to myself, but hearing the way Matt interprets some of them, because he is so good at what he does. I've only ever had 2 times where I had a specific tone that I was going for, and I actually sent him recordings of myself saying that. It's like, hey, close to this, But he at least a couple times in every book, he'll say something. I'll be listening to it for the first time. I'll be listening to it to check for mistakes and approve it before I send it back to him. And there has been a couple times where I've just he'll say something with a little different tone than I was picturing in my head, and it comes out perfect. And he's made me laugh. He told me he has a gag. He told me he has a gag reel, a blooper reel. He keeps all of his bloopers on file, or he doesn't delete them. He just cuts them, but they stay in a separate file. And I told him I told him if he still has all that when the series is over, I would love to have those maybe after the end of the book.
Oh heck yeah! Yeah. I would drop an Audible credit to get my hands on it. Because that would be hysterical. Because I never really think about with narrators how when they're trying to do stuff, they're going to have mistakes along the way, or something unexpected happens, or someone makes a banging noise and it actually comes through on a recording or whatever.
Yeah,
you can do retakes, and so that needs to be a thing. That definitely needs to be a thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who. Somebody has done that. I know it was an R.C. Bray book. I can't remember what the author was, but there was a book with outtakes. That outtakes at the end of it, and I thought it was freaking hilarious. It was kind of a callback to me of all of the old Burt Reynolds movies. They always played bloopers during the credits, and I thought that was I loved when they did that on older those Burt Reynolds movies, and I thought it would be cool. And then somebody finally did it. I can't remember. Wish I could remember the author, but I know it was R.C. Bray was the narrator. But
and he's really good.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of really good narrators out there, and I've said it so many times over the years. A really good narrator can take a good book and make it great. They add that flair that you maybe, as a reader, we invent our own voices in our heads and all of that. But then when you hear a narrator do it, most of the time with me, if I have read and now I'm listening, I'll defer to them. Like, okay, no, that's how it should sound right there. That's what they sound like. I mean, honestly, I think the way Matt does my voice is how I should probably learn to talk. I think he does me better than I do me.
I don't think he's not too far off. But he's heard your voice. He's been able to hear your voice in real life. So
yeah.
So
yes, he has. Okay, biggest pet peeve.
Oh, biggest pet peeve. People who say "gots."
Like I gots to go to the store.
I got. Yeah. Or not even. Or if they say he got this, or he got a car just like that. I can throw that out as my biggest pet peeve without even thinking about it. And anybody who's had little kids has probably gone through that with their little kids. So and so got this pencil at school, and I want one just like it. No, has. And I will stop my kids and make them. All my kids, I would stop them and make them re-say the sentence without Gots. That just bugs the crap out of me.
Dale. Okay. One more quick random one, just kind of an easy one here. Favorite color, least favorite color.
Favorite color has always been orange. I don't know why. I don't have an explanation for it. So, and I don't know if I have a least. Oh no, least favorite color is mint green. Anybody who's ever been in the military, for some reason, they paint the inside of most vehicles is painted this weird color of this weird shade of mint green, and I don't know if it has something to do with being able to see stuff like in the dark or something. I have no idea, but it's a horrible color. I've always hated it. Okay, I can open up. My daughter's leaving for.
Hey,
where are you going? Oh, she's going to get her nails done.
Oh, there we go.
So, love you too, kiddo. That would be the daughter who is Grace in the book.
Oh, okay, cool.
So she's her and her twin brother are 10 years old, and they're 12 years old now in the books, and she's going to be 20 in July.
Wow.
For real, which, man, I'm old.
I was going to say, how many of those gray hairs in your beard are her fault?
Well, every single one of them's from my family. I tell my wife, I didn't have any gray hair before I met you, and she'll remind me that we met 25 years ago. So she's like, you were gonna have gray hair no matter what. I said, you don't know that. You don't know that.
No. Well, let's pivot now to a book. It's part of the After Z series, but it's not in direct relation to the ongoing story, and that's the Arlington Society.
Right.
What inspired you to write that one? What made you feel like I need to tell this story to make the main story make more sense?
Well, when I was writing the first book, I knew I wanted to make some reference to the first book. For people who aren't familiar, the zombie virus has been around for about a decade, but it was more of a inconvenience. It would pop up and a few people would get infected, and then it would go away for a while and then pop up somewhere else, kind of like random cases of the measles or something like that. It was nothing that was world ending. And I needed to think of a name of somebody who started a company or some governmental agency that would be specifically for taking care of zombies. You get immigration to take care of immigration, the FDA, the DEA, that kind of stuff. So I just put out on random question on Facebook, give me some name ideas for a company that would do that. And I come up with a really lame one. The only thing I could think of was Zombex. That was the best thing that I came up with. And that one's mentioned in the book, but I never expanded on their storyline, and it was actually Nick Jones, the buddy that's based, the character is based on in the book. He texted me. He didn't reply to the Facebook thing. He just texted me out of the blue, off the side for it, and he's like, Arlington Society sounds cool. I'm like, cool. Where'd you get that at? He's like, I don't know. Pull it out of my ass. I'm like, you know what? That actually sounds pretty cool, though. So I wrote that in there, and then it was, after the second book came out, I had enough people that asked me, what was the backstory on the Arlington Society. So I'm like, screw it. I'll go ahead and write a backstory for the Arlington Society.
Well, a lot of zombie books, they don't always tell you what caused it to begin with, or where it came from. Well, you did. You had the I am dead too.
Yeah.
What did the letters mean?
It's I small m, so which it's the immunodegenerative and epidermal decomposition virus. And it's the big, capital I little m is from the immuno, and then decomposition and epidermal, or degenerative and epidermal decomposition virus, and it was the first zombie got this experimental vaccine, and it didn't work, so they amped it up and gave him a second one, and that's where the 2 came from. So it was the I am D2 or I'm dead 2. So it's a immunodegenerative epidermal decomposition virus strain 2.
Let's just say easy for you to say.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted I had to backward engineer that. So I'm like, I came up with so what are they going to call this? Because everybody's got the nicknames for the virus or nicknames for the zombies in their books, and I'm like, okay, so I want to have something that's humorous because I wanted to keep a humorous thread. I'm like so if everybody's dead, let's say I'm dead, and so that I came up with I'm dead, and then I kind of backwards engineer it from there. I had to look up terms that would go with what that would kind of go with how I developed my virus, and all of the neuroscience that's explained about how that reacts with genetic disorders and the how it affects the brain and the brain chemistry and everything. My friend, so it'd be the Martin Carter, the doctor, the husband of the married doctors in the book is my buddy. He's a neurobiologist in real life, and he's the one that helped me put all that together to make it make sense. So it's a loosely based in real science, or loosely based in real terms, if not real science. So real jargon. It's based in based in actual jargon. So
yeah, I just always thought that was cool. I am dead too. So yeah, literally. But yeah, that was such a cool concept though of how you say there were zombies around, but everybody was still just going to work and just doing their normal thing because it wasn't that big a deal. And then all of a sudden it becomes a big deal.
Yep, everybody got complacent about it. It's not going to happen around me, and until it happens around you. So.
Yep. Like it's based on some sort of science. Yeah, I mean, and you get that feel out of it. That's what's so cool about it. It doesn't feel like someone just pulled something out of their ass and went, yeah, okay, zombies. It's like you at least say, here's the reason for them. And it leaves it open to maybe we can figure out a way to undo this. That way, you can eventually end the series because, otherwise you're just going to have the zombies kill everybody and the end.
Yeah, I have an idea I've been working on for a short story. It's going to be absolutely brutal, not related to After Z or anything in After Z. It's going to be like it's going to be a really short story. It's going to be the absolute most brutal zombie end of the world thing, because every single non-plant based life form can get infected with this zombie virus, from whales to bacteria. Everything.
We're screwed.
and I could give away the ending by saying that nothing lives. It's just going to be extremely short, extremely brutal. No heroes, no villains, no nothing. It's just going to be a documentation of how everything disappeared. So
I dig it. I do dig it. I can't wait to get my hands on that one. I can't wait to get my hands on the next After Z, the next Breaker. Like, I mean, dude, you've got some just great stuff. Your talent is obvious. I mean, you can, if anybody out there is a zombie fan, but you haven't checked out After Z yet, you are completely missing out. Tufo, Phil Brooks, Simpson, Patrick. I mean, it's just right there with those guys in every sense of the word.
I've had my name put in the same sentence with those guys just enough times to be absolutely flattered by it, and I don't see myself as anywhere near on par with the stuff those guys have put out. But hey, if the people who are consuming it want to lump me in, and if the Amazon algorithm wants to lump me in with those guys and have me show up on their page too, hey, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, I mean, because that's like with me. I'll be scrolling Facebook, and then all of a sudden there'll be an Amazon thing, how they put like multiple books, and you can kind of side scroll and look through, and then you're right there. You'll be like one of the first, second ones on my list, and it's like, and then you look at the names that they've got out beside you, and it's like, yeah, he's making waves, big time.
it's extremely cool to see my name thrown up, alongside, guys that I've been reading their stuff for years. It's pretty cool.
Now, with you being out on the road, did you ever at any point do the thing we talked about where I said, take your books with you, and then when you're just in some random town, find a library, go and holler at somebody and just pop up right out front and say, hey, books?
I've taken them with a few times. And I'll post if I'm going to be somewhere. I did that for about a year. I carried a few copies of each book around with me, and if I was going to be, at a certain truck stop in a certain town, I'd say, hey, anybody come by? Nobody ever came. Nobody ever came by, but it might just be. It could be location. If anybody's not close enough to, excuse me, close enough to come make the drive, or too late to notice or something. Because usually when I'm hitting a truck stop, it's usually later, early evening, late afternoon, and not exactly convenient for some people. But I still carry a few copies with me, in the truck. I made some calling cards. I printed some calling cards out with the little QR code, and the little advertisement things that they put in front of the urinals in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
I'll slide a card down in those with the QR code on it every now and then. But
Hey, it's smart. You always got to be promoting, in some fashion, no matter where or when or how. You got to get it out there.
Yeah, and I wish I was better at it, but I'm horrible. I'm horrible at keeping up with my social media stuff. I really need to get better at it.
Yeah, I will say this. It's been a while ago, but I was kicking myself so hard because I didn't see your post about being in Nashville until after the fact. Like, you'd already come and gone, and I'm like, damn, he was right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, well, wife and I went down there, and I know we'd talked offline about meeting up while we were down there, and we got down there and we got straight into activity after activity, and we were so busy the whole time. And I'm like, and finally it was the day we were getting ready to go home. I'm like, I told my wife, I said, shit, I forgot to call Jack.
Well, all I know is the next time you get out this way, I got to get you out here to Gallatin, because there's that barbecue joint I was telling you about. The dinner's going to be on me. I got to get you guys in there, because it'll make you want to come back again and again and again.
Yeah, I get through Nashville often enough. I don't generally generally Nashville's like a passing through town. And but next time I'm going to be spending the night anywhere within 20, 30 miles or reasonable drive for you, I'll give you a holler.
Sweet.
We can
now here's another
post up something live, shoot something and post up something live or something. Well,
yeah, definitely do that. Now, kind of a random question. You being a truck driver,
yep.
What is your favorite truck stop you've ever been at? Big, small, mom and pop, big chain? What?
So my company prefers us to use Love's truck stops. So, but my favorite one is there's a Love's truck stop in Calhoun, Georgia, and it's my favorite because it's right across the street, walking distance from a Buc-ee's. And I love me some Buc-ee's. Go over, and every time I'm going down that way, my wife's like, "You gonna be at that truck stop by the Buc-ee's? Yeah, go get me." And she starts sending me pictures or links to from the online catalog. She's like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and it's all got something with Buc-ee's on it. And she's a elementary school secretary, so she's got Buc-ee's stuff all over her desk, and the kids love Buc-ee. So.
Yeah, whenever I go out to Knoxville for the Bigfoot Festival with Richard Rose and the fam out there, Mom will send me with a shopping list. So on my return trip, got to go to Buc-ee's whether I need to or not. So. And her thing is the fudge. Oh my God, she loves the fudge.
Oh, I'm a brisket junkie, and the jerky wall they have in there is pretty cool too. But I'm a brisket junkie.
Yeah, they got a good brisket sandwich.
Yeah.
I got, this past year, I actually got that coming through because I didn't eat before I left, and I'm like halfway home, well, not quite halfway home, but getting there. And I was like, screw it. I got in line, and I just stay on.
The closest one to us is 8 hours away right now. It's about an hour south of Lexington, Kentucky, and that's the closest one to us right now. They just broke ground on one right outside of Milwaukee, which is only going to be about 3 hours away from us. So I know my wife will be planning weekends around that.
Yeah, we finally got one closer to us. I'd say maybe 30 minutes away from where we're at.
Yeah.
I haven't gone out to it yet, but I'm bad about when the weekend comes. Getting me up out of this apartment is near to impossible. It's like, of course, I blame that. That's a symptom of being away during the week for so damn long when you're working. And
I'm gone all week anyway. I don't generally like going, going anywhere I don't have to go on the weekends here. But we had some friends that opened a bar here in town. We've actually been going to every weekend. So we started going out more. Now both of the kids got driver's license and boyfriends, girlfriends, and they're gone on the weekends. I don't feel as guilty not hanging around the house all weekend as I used to. But we've become good enough friends with the bar owner, and my wife's actually started bartending for him.
Nice.
She's actually doing it tonight, and I'm going to go up and I get to be the bar back, so she gets to stand up there and take the money, and then I just get to run back and forth, restocking the coolers for her. So,
good little workout.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we have hit the hour, and I want to hold everybody up. I'm sure everybody got a little something going on today, and we done made the mistake of talking about food, and well, Jack getting hungry at this point, so I'm already thinking about that catfish and white beans, and hoe cakes, and the whole 9 yards. So we're going to try to get around that as quick as we can.
All right.
How I've always done this deal here. We'll start with you, Robin. Where can everybody find you?
robinsreview.info and Reading Between the Spines Facebook group.
And use the underscores between each word. Can I forget that little part? Of might not find you, but it's a great group. That's her founding that group is how I first met her. And when I saw how dedicated she was to promoting, to putting people's new releases out, just being supportive, putting up little articles or whatever for advice and encouragement. And I'm like, I got to talk to this person. Like she needs a show. And so that's where this all came from. So, Robin, thank you for that. Everybody go join the groups. Go check out her reviews. She writes great reviews. She'll hopefully be getting some reviews written here for Jason before long, once we get hooked into the After Z series and Breaker, because they're so damn good.
They're the best books I've ever written. The only books has nothing to do with it. They're just
not at all. Well, Jason, where can everybody find you, brother?
I'm easy. I'm only on Facebook, so you can look up JS Patrick on Facebook, or I have there's an official fan group. It's called The Bunker, and it's it'll just type in The Bunker and then look for it'll say official JS Patrick fan group. I don't have any other no, I don't have my own website or any other social media presence, so I'm horrible at that. I need to work on that maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, now, and everybody be sure, hit, now are you just exclusively on Amazon and Audible, or are you on BookBub and BookFunnel and all the others?
No, just Amazon and Audible.
Well, there's something else we got to work on, man. We got to get that footprint, that big footprint out there,
Well, they got a pretty big footprint. It's just, I'm lazy. I'm really lazy, and it's easy because they do it all for you. So.
Which that reminds me, and I say this to everyone that comes on, the Bigfoot Festival out in Townsend, Tennessee has blown up to something that is usually averaging between 25 and 30,000 attendees in the course of, a day, like insane numbers of people. And in order to be a vendor there, you just really have to have cryptid merch, not even necessarily Bigfoot, cryptid merch or whatever, which is why I'm tasking you at some point, at least a novella of some sort. Get me something cryptid, man. I know y'all got cryptids up in the area where you live, so
we made mention of it. Your character made mention of Bigfoot in your character in And another character that I won't give away this part. I won't give away a spoiler, but the character that the people ran into down in Memphis that talked about running into a Bigfoot, in the past, and then of course, Richard took that little idea that I threw out, and he actually wrote that backstory into his next book when he wrote that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really neat. Just having that crossover between the two worlds and everything.
Yeah.
That was absolutely great. Well, man, thank you so much for doing this. This won't be our last one because you're going to get that next book done. And when you do, there's going to be a book release party, and we're going to do it right here on Shits and Giggles.
All right.
So be sure to get ready for that. So for Robin Veneri, for J.S. Patrick, I am your toothless terror, Jack Childress. This has been the Shits and Giggles podcast. And we will see you next week, but we will also see you tomorrow morning with Jackie Murphy III with his first children's book. And y'all are going to love this young man. And when I say young man, he's a kid and he's already published. So be sure to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central for that one. Well, guys, until next time, this has been a blast. Take us home, Robin.